Greatest NHL player for every jersey number. This is part 6. Let's go. For the number 48, I went with Danny Briere. Briere wore the number 48 with the Sabres, Flyers, Canadiens, and Avalanche. And it was with the Sabres where he had his best season statistically. It was in 2007 when he had 95 points. And while he never won a Stanley Cup, he always seemed to show up in the playoffs, especially in 2010 when him and the Flyers went to the Stanley Cup final, and Briere led all players in playoff points that year with 30. For the number 49, I went with Ivan Barbashev. Barbashev's a two-time Stanley Cup champion, winning his first Stanley Cup as a member of the St. Louis Blues in 2019, and his second cup was as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights in 2023. He played a big role that year, playing on the top line with Eichel and Marchessault, and he had 18 points in the playoffs that year while also providing a physical presence for Vegas. And one of the most memorable highlights from that Stanley Cup final was his reverse hit on Radko Gudas. For the number 50, it's Corey Crawford. For 10 seasons, Corey Crawford was the starting goalie for the Chicago Blackhawks and provided the Blackhawks with very good goaltending during that time. And while he never won a Vezina Trophy, he won 2 Jennings Trophies and was the starter for 2 Stanley Cups for the Chicago Blackhawks and was amazing during both of those cup runs, especially in 2013 where he had a .932 save percentage in the postseason that year. For the number 51, I went with Brian Campbell. Brian Campbell played 18 seasons in the NHL for the Sabres, Sharks, Blackhawks, and Florida Panthers. And during that time, played over 1,000 games in the NHL and was able to provide some offense from the blue line as well, as he had over 500 points in his career. He also won a Stanley Cup as a member of the Chicago Blackhawks and was named an NHL second-team All-Star in 2008. For the number 52, I went with Adam Foote. Adam Foote played over 1,100 games in the NHL as a shutdown defenseman and spent 17 seasons with the Colorado Avalanche, and it was with the Avalanche where Foote would win 2 Stanley Cups, and his number is now hanging in the rafters of Ball Arena in Colorado. For the number 53, it's Jeff Skinner. Skinner's had some good seasons with the Carolina Hurricanes and Buffalo Sabres. Had a career year in points in 2023 with the Sabres, as he had 82 points in 79 games that season. But this poor guy still has yet to play a playoff game, despite playing over 1,000 games in the regular season. But that should all change next season as he joins the Edmonton Oilers. And if it doesn't change, then this poor guy's just cursed, I guess. For the number 54, I went with Adam McQuaid. The competition for this number was pretty weak, but McQuaid played over 500 games in the NHL and won a Stanley Cup as a member of the 2011 Boston Bruins. He was mostly an enforcer during his time in the NHL and was a pretty tough dude as well, so therefore he's the greatest player for the number 54. For the number 55, I went with Larry Murphy. Murphy was an offensive defenseman who wore the number 55 for the Penguins, the Leafs, and the Detroit Red Wings. And it was with the Penguins where he had his best season offensively, as he had 85 points in 1993. He won 2 Stanley Cups as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1991 and 92, and would win 2 Stanley Cups as a member of the Detroit Red Wings in 1997 and 98. He was named to the Hockey Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility in 2004. For the number 56, I went with Sergei Zubov, another offensive defenseman. As Zubov's one of the greatest players in Dallas Stars history, was a part of the Stars when they won the Stanley Cup in 1999, and his best season offensively with Dallas was in 2006 when he had 71 points in 78 games for the Stars. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2019 and had his number 56 retired by Dallas a few years later. For the number 57, it's David Perron. Perron just recently signed with the Ottawa Senators. That'll be his 7th team in the NHL in a career that spanned over 1,100 games, and he has over 700 career points in the NHL. But at the end of his career, he'll be best remembered as a member of the St. Louis Blues. He's had 3 stints in St. Louis, and it was in his 3rd stint with the Blues where he captured the Stanley Cup, as he played a big role on the Blues team that won the Cup in 2019. For the number 58, it's Chris Letang. Letang's been the franchise defenseman for the Penguins during the Crosby and Malkin era. He's played over 1,000 games with the Penguins and has provided over 700 career points from the blue line. He's also won 3 Stanley Cups, including the 2016 Stanley Cup, where he had the game-winning goal in the cup-clinching game against the San Jose Sharks. Like and follow for part 7.